You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Tuesday, June the 30th, 2020. The Yankees and Orioles played each other in an AL East matchup, and this game went scoreless after 9 innings. The Orioles ended up getting a 3-run home run to walk it off in the bottom of the 11th inning. Tanner Scott got the win, and Jonathan Holder got the loss. The Mariners and Red Sox played each other, 3-1 the final score. The Red Sox came out on top. Eduardo Rodriguez got the win, Yusei Kikuchi got the loss, and Brandon Workman earned his 25th save of the season. The Angels and Rays played each other, and the Angels got shut out, 3-0 the final score of this game. The Rays 3 runs on 6 hits, and the Angels no runs on 3 hits. Charlie Morton got the win, Tyler Glasnow got the loss against his former team, and Nick Anderson earned his 24th save of the year. AL Central Baseball, the Twins beat the Tigers 2-1 the final score of this game, and each team scored in just 1 inning. The Tigers got a run in the bottom of the 1st inning, then the Twins took the lead in the top of the 6th with a 2-run inning. Each team got 8 hits in this one, but the Twins able to edge the Tigers by a run. Jose Barrios got the win, Spencer Turnbull got the loss, and Tyler Duffy earned his 8th save of the year. The Indians and Astros played each other, 7-4 the final score of this game. The Indians had commanded this one mostly throughout, but the Astros got 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning, attempting to make a comeback, but they could not. They fell short 3 runs. Each team also got 12 hits in this game. Shane Bieber got the win, Josh James got the loss, and Brad Hand up to 30 saves now on the season. The White Sox and Blue Jays played each other, 10-3 the final score of this game. The White Sox came out on top. Lucas Giolito got the win, and Trent Thornton got the loss. Interleague play between the Diamondbacks and the Royals saw the Diamondbacks win, 3-2 the final score of this game. Both teams scored in the 6th inning, but the Diamondbacks got 1 more run than the Royals did, and that's how this one finished. Madison Bumgarner got the win, Danny Duffy got the loss, and Archie Bradley earned his 18th save of the year. An interleague game as well between the Marlins and the Athletics, 4-3 the final score of this game. The Marlins came out on top. Caleb Smith got the win, Sean Manaea got the loss, and Brandon Kinsler earned his 21st save of the year. And yet another interleague game, the Braves and Rangers played each other, and the Rangers lost by a large amount. 15-5 was the final score of this game. Both teams scored in the 1st inning, but then the Braves just kept it going. The Rangers, after scoring in the 1st inning, couldn't score until the 8th inning where they put up 3 runs, but they were still well behind. Mike Soroka got the win, and Mike Minor got the loss against one of his former teams. The Brewers and Cubs played each other in an NL Central matchup, and the Brewers won by a score of 5-3. Josh Hader ended up getting the win. Daniel Winkler got the loss, and Corey Knebel earned his 4th save of the year. The Brewers were trailing in this game until the 8th inning when they put up 3 runs, went ahead by 2, and the Cubs could not respond. The Padres and Phillies played each other, and the Phillies won by 9 runs. Final score of this game, 12-3. The Padres can only score in the 8th inning. Meanwhile, the Phillies scattered runs throughout this game, and there were a few crooked numbers in there. Zach Eflin got the win, and Joey Lucchesi got the loss. Close game between the Mets and the Giants saw the Mets come out on top. 5-4 was the final score of this game. Marcus Stroman got the win, Andrew Suarez got the loss, and Edwin Diaz earned his 23rd save of the year with the Mets. The Rockies mashed the Pirates 12-4 the final score of this game. It was close through the first 4 innings. Well, relatively close, but the Rockies had the lead throughout this entire game. The Pirates were making a bid for a comeback in the 3rd and 4th innings, but the Rockies were already up by too much, and they tacked on 3 in the top of the 9th inning to really pull away with this 8-run win. Jeff Hoffman got the win, and Steven Brault got the loss. The Nationals and Cardinals played each other. 4-1 the final score of this game. The Nationals came out on top. Steven Strasburg earned his 10th win of the season. Jack Flaherty now 8-6 after getting the losing decision, and Sean Doolittle now with 26 saves on the year. And the Reds and Dodgers played each other, a close game, just like it was yesterday. 3-2 the final score of this game. The Dodgers came out on top again. There was more early offense in this game from the Dodgers. They got 2 runs at the bottom of the 1st and 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd inning, tallying all their runs for the game. The Reds scored late, 1 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th, but they couldn't get that 3rd run to tie the game. Each team had 9 hits in this one as well. Walker Buehler improves on his Major League leading win total. He's up to 12 now. Wade Miley got the loss, and Kenley Jansen up to 30 saves now on the season. Taking a look at standings, starting in the American League East, the New York Yankees 51-35 at the top of this division. They lost today, as did the Blue Jays, so no ground gained by the Blue Jays. They're 49-36, still 1.5 games back in the Yankees. The Rays are 42-45. They're 9.5 games back after beating the Angels today. The Red Sox are on a 6-game winning streak after beating the Mariners today. They're 41-45, 10 games back of the Yankees. And the Orioles still in last place. They're 35-51, 16 games back. They won today, but they've lost 9 of their last 10. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins won today. They're 59-27, still at the top of this division. The White Sox are 51-35, 8 games back. The Indians on a 3-game winning streak. They're 49-37, 10 games back. The Tigers 34-51, 24.5 games back. And the Royals still in last place. They're 30-56, 29 games back of the Twins for first place. And in the American League West, the Oakland Athletics are 53-33, still at the top of the division. They lost today. The Astros also lost today, moving their losing streak up to 3 games. They're 47-37, still 5 games back of the A's. The Angels 41-44. They're 11.5 games back. The Rangers 35-52, 18.5 games back, and the Mariners still in last place with a 30-57 record. No American League West team won a game today. And the wildcard standings look like this in the AL. The White Sox still at the top spot. They're 51-35. The Blue Jays lost today, so they lost some ground on the White Sox. They're 49-36. The Indians, after winning today, gained some ground on the wildcard standings. The Indians now a half game back of the Blue Jays for that second wildcard spot. The Astros, 47-37, 1.5 games back. They're on a 3-game losing streak, so they've lost ground. And every other team in the American League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 8 games back of a wildcard spot. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals are 51-35, still at the top of the division. The Braves and Marlins still tied for second place with 46-40 records. They're each 5 games back of the Nationals. The Phillies, 40-45. They're 10.5 games back. And the Mets have continued to stay hot. They've won 6 games in a row. They're 39-46, 11.5 games back of first place. In the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals could not beat the Nationals today, so they're stuck at 49 wins. 49-37 is their overall record, though they're still at the top of this division. The Cubs couldn't gain any ground on the Cardinals today. The Cubs lost to the Brewers. They're 44-42, 5 games back. The Brewers gained some ground, though, in the division. They're now 8 games back of the Cardinals for first place and 3 games back of the Cubs. They're 40-44. The Reds are 34-52, 15 games back, and the Pirates still in last place with a 32-53 record. They're 16.5 games back, and they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. And in the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are 59-27. They've won 6 games in a row. They're still at the top of the West. The Diamondbacks, 48-38, 11 games back, and they've won 4 games in a row. The Padres have gotten cold. They've lost 5 in a row and 7 of their last 10. They're 44-41, 14.5 games back. The Rockies in 4th place with a 34-51 record. They're 24.5 games back. And the Giants have pushed their losing streak up to 6 games now. They're 32-53, 26.5 games back, still in last place. And the wildcard standings look like this. The Diamondbacks have the top spot. They're 48-38. The Braves and the Marlins, who are tied for second place in the NL East, are also tied for the second wildcard spot with the same record. The Padres, 44-41, 1.5 games back. The Cubs, 44-42, 2 games back. And every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 5 games back of a wildcard spot. And taking a look at league leaders, starting with batting average leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera still at the top, though he's gotten cold and that average has fallen. It's at 339 now. That's allowed Chris Davis to catch up, who's been hot recently. He has a 335 average, just 4 points behind Cabrera. And Carlos Santana third best with a 332 batting average. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt still at the top with a 356 average. Jonathan Villar second best, 10 points behind Goldschmidt with a 346. And Christian Yelich rounds up the top 3 with a 338. Hits leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar has 117. DJ LeMahieu, his Yankee teammate, at 113. And JD Martinez third best with 112. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 126. Paul Goldschmidt second best with 112. And Ronald Acuna Jr. rounds out the top 3 with 106. At bat leaders in the American League, Jose Abreu and Miguel Andujar tied for the most with 353. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has the most with 364. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon has the most with 30. Giancarlo Stanton and Jose Abreu tied for second best with 26. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 39. 8 behind him is Christian Yelich with 31, and Nicholas Castellanos and Trey Turner each tied for third best with 26. Triples leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has the lead with 7. Jose Altuve moved down to second now with 6. And there's a three-way tie for third best. Adam Eaton, Stephen Piscotty, and Whit Merrifield all have 5. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 10 triples. Victor Robles second best with 6. And Hunter Pence, Chris Bryant, and Cody Bellinger tied for third best with 5. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton is at 30. He's the leader. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. second best with 27. And Chris Davis and J.D. Martinez are tied for third best with 26. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. still at the top with 31. Paul Goldschmidt second best with 28. Jock Peterson and Freddie Freeman tied for third best with 23. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has 82. 8 behind him is Chris Davis with 74. And Jorge Soler third best with 70. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a commanding lead with 79. And there's a three-way tie for second best. Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, and Freddie Freeman all have 66. Run scored leaders in the American League, J.D. Martinez is at 66. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at 73. Stolen base leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has 20, D. Gordon at 19, and Malik Smith has 18. In the National League, Starling Marte has 29, Trey Turner one behind him with 28, and Jonathan Villar third best with 22. Walks leaders in the American League, Alex Bregman has the most with 56. In the National League, Rhys Hoskins has the most with 61. On base percentage leaders in the American League, Alex Bregman at the top with a 419 OBP, Chris Davis second best with a 415, and Carlos Santana rounds out the top 3 with a 414. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has the highest with a 450, Christian Yelich second best with a 438, and Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with a 427. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson has the highest with a 649, Yohan Moncada second best with a 633, and Chris Davis third best with a 631. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has a 729, Paul Goldschmidt second best with a 705, and Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a 669. OPS leaders in the American League, on base plus slugging percentage, Josh Donaldson has the highest with a 1.061, Chris Davis second best with a 1.046, and J.D. Martinez third best with a 1.018. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has the highest with a 1.156. 1 point behind him is Paul Goldschmidt with a 1.155. And Christian Yelich is third best with a 1.107. Moving on to pitcher leaderboards, starting with wins leaders in the American League. Kenta Maeda and Hyunjin Ryu each tied with the most wins in the AL with 10. There's a three-way tie for third best. Lucas Giolito, Jordan Montgomery, and Jake Odorizzi each have 9 wins. In the National League, Walker Buehler has the most with 12. Steven Strasburg second best with 10. Madison Bumgarner and Jimmy Nelson are tied for third best with 9. Losses leaders in the American League, Chris Bassett and Kenta Maeda still undefeated on the year among pitchers who qualify to lead this category. In the National League, Steven Strasburg, Walker Buehler, Caleb Smith, and Marcus Stroman all have the least amount of losses. They're all at 2. Everybody else in the National League has 3 or more. Saves leaders in the American League, Liam Hendriks has the most with 31. Brad Hand reached 30 saves today. And there's a three-way tie for third best. Brandon Workman, Hansel Robles, and Roberto Ozuna each have 25. In the National League, Kenley Jansen and Giovanni Gallegos tied for the top spot with 30. Craig Kimbrell is third best with 29. ERA leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has the lowest with a 2.38. Jake Odorizzi second lowest with a 2.67. And Jordan Zimmerman third lowest with a 2.74. In the National League, Marcus Stroman at a 1.89, Walker Buehler second best with a 2.17, and Steven Strasburg third best with a 2.37. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Gio Gonzalez has allowed the least amount with 7. In the National League, Robbie Ray, Caleb Smith, Marcus Stroman, and Zach Gallen have all allowed the least amount with 6. It's a 4-way tie for the league best. Shutout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka is still at 3. They're still at the top of this leaderboard. Jake Odorizzi is third best. He threw 2 complete game shutouts this year. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has 3 complete game shutouts. There's a 4-way tie for second best. Merrill Kelly, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and Walker Buehler have all thrown 2 complete game shutouts this year. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole has 152 strikeouts. Lucas Giolito second best with 138, and Carlos Carrasco third best with 119. In the National League, Steven Strasburg at the top. He passed Clayton Kershaw. He's at 148. Clayton Kershaw second best now with 144, and Robbie Ray third best with 129. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have each completed 3 games this year. Jake Odorizzi and Aaron Savali have each thrown 2 complete games this year. In the National League, Jacob deGrom, Aaron Nola, and Zach Wheeler still at the top of this list. They've all thrown 3 complete games this year on the mound for their respective teams. Innings pitched leaders in the American League. Garrett Cole has the most with 116 2/3. He's a third of an inning above Hyunjin Ryu with 116 1/3, and Shane Bieber's at 116 even. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has the most innings pitched this year so far among National Leaguers with 124. Walks allowed among American League pitchers. Carlos Carrasco is allowed the least amount with 16. In the National League, Brett Anderson's allowed the least amount with 23. Whip leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi has the lowest with a 107, Carlos Carrasco second lowest with a 108, and Dylan Bundy third best with a 109. In the National League, Aaron Nola is at a 1 even, Marcus Stroman second best with a 102, and Clayton Kershaw third best with a 105. Pitching WAR leaders in the American League, Shane Bieber has a 2.9 WAR, Masahiro Tanaka second best with a 2.6, and Jake Odorizzi third best with a 2.5. In the National League, Steven Strasburg has a 3.1. Aaron Nola and Robbie Ray each have a 2.9. That's the top 3 on this leaderboard. Batting WAR leaders in the American League, Marcus Semion's at a 5.2. Yohan Moncada over 5. He's at a 5.1. And DJ LeMahieu rounds out the top 3 with a 4.8. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. in the mid-6s. He's at a 6.5. Christian Yelich second best with a 5.9. And Paul Goldschmidt rounds out the top 3 with a 5.4. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Tuesday, June the 30th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network.